It's the Ice Report with Tom Casey on 101sports.com.
TPC back with you again for another online edition of the Ice Report, the last one before Christmas. So happy holidays and a very Merry Christmas from yours truly to you and yours. A lot of good stuff to talk about concerning the Blues and their head coach, Ken Hitchcock. As always, we review before we preview. This past Saturday, Ken Hitchcock turning 60 years of age. He's done an incredible, wonderful job with his team since taking over in early November. The team now is 13-2-4 since his taking over for Davis Payne. And when you look at that, that's 30 of a possible 38 points. They're currently 5th overall in the league, which is great, and they're 4th in the West. Nobody can complain with where they are right now. They haven't won any shootouts. That's where that 4 comes in the record. Yaroslav Halak has kind of been a sacrificial lamb, losing each and every one of these shootouts in which the Blues just don't produce a lot offensively. He has made some timely saves, but tough to make enough of them when you're, quite frankly, just not scoring goals at all. But aside from that, big picture, this team has done well. In their most recent outing before we tape this on Sunday night, they rally back to beat Columbus. They're down 3-2 after 40 minutes, and you're starting to wonder, okay, are the Blues going to fall back into some old habits of losing games that they really should win against inferior opponents? That look to possibly be the case, but they rallied to score 4 goals and outscore Columbus 4-1 in that third period to ultimately prevail 6-4 and get Halak a well-deserved win, even though he wasn't great in that game. Probably played better in the shootout loss to Nashville the night before. But Halak, with the back-to-back starts, helps the team to get 3 of a possible 4 points. And that begins an important stretch because Ken Hitchcock told us last week that, what you do in your first 30 games of a season is one thing. What you do in the second 30 games defines who you are for that year. And so in the first 2 games, beyond the first 30, the Blues have taken 3 of 4 points. So that bodes very well for the Blues. Looking ahead to next week, kind of a lighter week. On Wednesday, they play at Colorado, an 8:30 start there. Former Avalanche netminder Brian Elliott, who's played really, really well, winning a couple of games last week. He's going to get the start in that game. And then, of course, on Friday, a very light week ends with a game in Phoenix, an 8 o'clock start against the Coyotes. Taking a look at both of these two teams, both have just kind of okay goaltending. Neither team boasts, like the Blues, neither team boasts a guy who is a point-per-game player, kind of more balanced scoring in terms of getting goals and getting offensive production by committee. So these are very winnable games for the Blues, and as well as good as they've been, certainly since Ken Hitchcock took over, they're going to have to keep getting wins, going to have to keep getting points to keep up with the Blackhawks, with the Minnesota Wild, and a lot of these other good teams in the West that are playing just as well as the Blues are. Otherwise, heck, the Blues wouldn't be 5th overall in the league. They'd be at the top of the league's overall point standings and record standings. So the Blues they can't let up, but under Ken Hitchcock so far, there's no reason to believe that they will let up. That is this week's Ice Report. Another one coming your way next week right here on 101sports.com.